Hi, everybody. We are officially picking up our book reviews for 2026. However, I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit. I did complete my 2025 reading goal. I got 30 books done last year. That might not be that ambitious compared to some other people who read like 100 books a year, but I wanted to do 30 and I actually did get it done. There were two books that I never posted about because with the holidays and everything going on, I didn't have time to record them. But B, I think the one book, I literally finished it at like 7 o'clock at night on the 31st. But they were two good books. So I really wanted to take the time to talk about them. Okay, so the two books, I can't remember which one was first and which one was second. I think I started with this and then I finished with this. So anyway, we'll start talking about A Resistance of Witches first by Morgan Ryan. This book was interesting. It was kind of like a hybrid of your witchy kind of themes and your historical fiction kind of themes. So basically this book takes place during World War II. You meet the kind of British coven of witches. There's a school where you learn your witch skills, and then there's the Nazis who are starting to or trying to start their own coven. There's a book that can bring about kind of end of the world plague-esque things. The Nazis are trying to get their hands on it. So are the British witches to kind of keep the Nazis from getting it. Chaos ensues. It was a very good book. It had a lot of action from start to finish. It's not just witchy characters. There's two other main characters in this book where it kind of switches perspective. So the main character, it's been a little while, so let me find the name of the main character, Lydia. Okay, so Lydia is a witch. She's at the Royal Academy. She is the headmistress's assistant or right-hand woman, I guess. She's kind of been tasked with finding the book. Unfortunately, the Nazis kind of infiltrate the academy and end up killing the headmistress very early on in the book. Spoiler alert. So then Lydia herself takes it upon herself to just go find the book and destroy it and take care of it. She's with two other characters throughout the book, and they kind of switch perspective. The one is a man who is from New Orleans originally. Henry Bordeaux. Okay, so he's originally from Louisiana. He's had like a little bit of a spiritual vibe his whole life. Like he can see the dead, and his mom was like a little bit of a witch doctor kind of vibe. So he's kind of dabbled in the arts, but he is not a witch by any means. And then there's another character who is just a run-of-the-mill French woman. I cannot remember her name and I don't see it in front of me. She's part of like the French resistance and she's almost like a spy. The three of them end up working together, and it's interesting because the one character has no magical background. The second character has a tiny bit of a magical background, and then there's Lydia, who is a full-on witch who can do crazy things, and the three of them are all working together to try and find this book and destroy it, or at least make sure that the Nazis don't get control of it. Great book, very action-packed. If you like historical fiction, but you want to sort of switch it up a little bit, that is a good one. It was a great read. It was very entertaining. All right, the other book that I finished right at the end of the year was How to Age Disgracefully by Clare Pooley. This one was very funny. It's entertaining. It basically switches perspective between a couple of different characters as well. But this woman decides to join a seniors group at like the local community center. It takes place, I think, in either Ireland or Britain. I can't remember. And one of the characters, or one of the people who also joins the club, is this retired actor. And then there's also the woman who runs the club. You get to see her perspective. And then there's also this kid who I think he's like maybe 17 years old, and he had a baby. Like he has a 2-year-old. It was kind of like a little bit of an uh-oh situation. And so at the same community center is where he sends his daughter for daycare. And the two groups, the daycare and the senior group, end up sort of meshing and joining for a couple of different projects and stuff, and basically just chaos. It has a lot of really funny characters in it. It also has a lot of funny, chaotic things that happen in it. I don't know if it's the most realistic book in the entire world, but it was definitely an entertaining book nonetheless. I would say a good comparison for this book would be almost like an Emily Henry type of book. Not because, I mean, there was a little bit of romance in here, but not really. Just the way it's written and the kind of chaotic characters who find themselves in these weird random situations. That's where I'm at. Anyway, so those were the 2 books that I finished before the end of the year. So those will wrap up my 2025 reading challenge. In my next video, I'll go over some of the books that I have started to read for 2026. This year I am shooting, I think, for 35 books, if not 40. That might be ambitious, but that's what we're going to shoot for. My first book of the year is going to be a good one, a little bit of a niche one. It's going to be Rain Date by Nor'easter Nick Pittman. Plot twist, this is my boss. I don't know if you guys know that I am a meteorologist, but my boss, meteorologist Nick Pittman, wrote a book, and it's kind of his memoir, so to speak. So I'm going to dive into that, and that'll be the first one that I cover for 2026. Alrighty, I'll see you guys next week.